So is it better for me to, after you speak, to wait like a second and then I speak, so we don't get the...
Wait a few seconds, because I think there's a little bit of a delay on each of our ends.
Okay.
All right. We are live. Welcome back, everybody, to Chit, Geek Out. I'm your host, Steven, and today on the show, we are joined by makeup artist Eleanor Sabaduquia. I had a feeling I was going to butcher that, but I know
you had it. You had it.
Okay, good.
Hi, everyone.
Anyways, she's worked on countless amount of movies. She has a bunch of credits on IMDb. She has worked on hit movies such as Saw, the Insidious franchise, the Conjuring franchise, Lights Out, and a bunch more. We're going to talk to her about the details of her working with, people like James Wan, Leo Whannell, Vera Farmiga, all those fun people in the industry. Welcome to the show, Eleanor. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm good, but I'm a little tired. I'm currently working on a project where we're working nights in the desert, so it's been physically and mentally a little tough. Although the project is kind of easy, but yeah. So
awesome.
Welcome to my humble abode, and my black cat, his name is Bosch. He will interfere occasionally, so I apologize in advance for that.
And that project you're working on night shoots right now, you can't really talk too much about that one, right?
I can only say that it's a Jordan Peele project, and that's it. That's all I can say. I don't know when it's going to be released. I don't know the title of the show, but I can assure you it's a Jordan Peele project, and you guys, mind will be blown.
Awesome.
When I got to the end of the script, I was like, what? Wait, what? So you're going to be the same as well.
I'm excited to see what your what your work on that project is, and what you do as far as working in the department that you are with makeup. And you've created so many iconic characters. I know that The Nun, I would say that's kind of like your baby. When you work on these projects, obviously I'm sure there's sketches done before you guys do the makeup. Just kind of envision what you guys are looking for, at least what the creators. I don't know. I'm sure James Wan has some type of say when you're working on his projects, like The Conjuring 2. How much involvement do you have in the design process of creating a character?
Well, it depends how big the big bad is. Like, say in the first Conjuring, Bathsheba, that was out of my hands. That was all Justin Raleigh. And Justin will do the whole photo, like he'll take the actor, he'll do a photo session, and then they'll go from there. But for me, I do all the ancillary big bads, like the big crying lady, or the ghosts that kill themselves. And James' aesthetic it's actually quite, he's not predictable, but I know what his aesthetic is. He likes pale. He likes red and black, and he likes very pronounced facial features. If you look at, say, Billy from Saw, or Bathsheba, or the Red Lipstick Demon, or the Nun, they always have these like very hooked noses with a pronounced chin and cheekbones. They all have very similar features.
Wow.
So as far as the Nun goes, what James did was he gave me some reference photos, like he found on the internet, inspiration photos, we call them. And then he wanted to actually cast a man as the Nun. So we did a camera test. I had me and Hugo Villasenor, excuse me, who's an amazing effects artist, because we were going to test. We had 4 people that we wanted to test, 3 guys, and then we had Bonnie Aarons. And I saw Bonnie's face, and I got really selfish. I said, "You're mine," and just went to town on Bonnie's face. And there's like an iconic photo of the Nun, and it's actually from the camera test. It's very simple. It's a dark background, and it's just her just standing there. And that was actually James's. It's just a photo of her, and that's his photo. And fortunately, that face is, it's just made the makeup work. I unfortunately couldn't do her makeup for the shoot because I was too busy doing Vera and Patrick. But for the actual her namesake movie, I did her, and I tried to make her look a little bit more realistic, which divided some people. They said, "Oh, she's not as scary looking." I was like, well, I didn't want to.
I think she was the perfect choice, and especially it's probably rewarding for you because there's so many people that dress up like the nun now for Halloween, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you said originally they wanted to cast a man because I remember in Insidious they casted a man to play the bride, the scary bride. I don't know, this is Philip, but
yeah,
that's interesting. And did you have a lot to do?
I did that make.
Yeah?
Actually, I did make up. The reference for that was Baby Jane.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I can see it. Wow, I can see that actually. Now that you say it.
I could do that, but just pack it on. And if you look at his facial features, he has a very similar nose, cheeks, chin. That was a fun makeup. I really see. I'm not a huge special effects person. When pushed, I can be. And Justin knows, and he'll often say, "Oh, you could do this, Eleanor. Here you go." But I didn't plan for it. It's like, you can do it.
Right.
He did something like that for Vacancy 2. It was a 5-piece burn makeup that wrapped around the guy's, and he's like, "You could do it." I said, "Okay." It was 3-hour makeup. It looked great, and then they put a hat on him, and they put him in a dark corner, and I was like, "Okay, well, so much." That happens a lot.
Wow. And now you've been working with James Wan and Leo now for a long time now, ever since Saw, you guys worked on countless amount of projects. How did that relationship kind of start with you guys? And just tell us a bit more about that.
Saw was James and Lee's first actual feature film. And we all thought it was going to go to video. And Twisted Pictures just didn't put it in Sundance. But when they did, it became such a hit. And that was actually good for Sundance. So we had Napoleon Dynamite and The Butterfly Effect, and a couple other movies that I can't remember, but that was a good year for Sundance. And during filming with Saw, if I don't smile, I look like I'm angry. So I was so stressed out because that was like my first feature too, and there were like Carrie Elwes and Danny Glover, and so I was really intimidated by them. And James was as well. So I never smiled, and he thought I was angry all the time. After filming, I don't know, we started just hanging out and being friends and just eating cheap Thai food, and I think he said, "You remind me of my," I was like, "big sister," and he said, "Mighty," and I said, "No." He said, "But a cool auntie." I'm like, "That's still not, no, I want to be a big sister." So he likes to surround himself with, I think, women. So I like to say I'm one of James's oldest American friends.
Wow.
There was I couldn't do Dead Silence because that was in Canada. Canada has very strict, or union laws. And then he did a film called Death Sentence, which was in South Carolina, and he wanted me on that. There was a lot of effects on that, and I wanted to bring Rocky Faulkner, who did effects on Saw. And the New York union said, "Well, you can only bring one person." So he said to me, "Eleanor, what do I do?" And at that point, I knew anybody could do straight makeup, but he really needed somebody who could do amazing effects makeup, because there was like big face tattoos, and Kevin Bacon shaves his head, and there's a scar here, and a kid gets beaten up. And so I said to James, "What you do is you take Rocky." And then after I hung up the phone, I cried because I gave up a job that, potentially, I thought I would never work with James again. And I think maybe that that cemented the fact that I cared more for his movie and his career than I did mine. And since then, in one way or another, he's always employed me. And I kind of, actually, though, play on a little superstition. I said, James, the 2 films that I work on didn't do well, so you have to hire me in one way or another on your films. And no, Patrick Wilson is my lucky rabbit's foot. I said, but Patrick Wilson hasn't been Furious 7, and he hasn't been on Saw. And he's like, oh. So even if I'm not on principal, like on Furious 7, I was on second unit, which is all stunts. And then on Aquaman, I did the reshoots. So there's some way. Yeah, some way. But yeah, I've been really, 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 really lucky that he's been so loyal.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
So
that's great. He's like one of my role models, honestly, as because I want to do directing, and he's kind of like my modern inspiration ever since Saw. It's just him and Lee are just such a great team together. They do so many good things, and we had a lot of people ask. We love Lorraine and Ed. We love Vera and Patrick. I've been a fan of Vera's for a long time, ever since she was an orphan. That was the first horror movies I saw in theaters. And
have you seen Running Scared?
I don't think so.
Running Scared? Oh, that's a good little film. It's basically it's stealth, kind of horror Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually, James, he actually took me to see that movie. He's like, Eleanor, you got to see this movie. It came out of nowhere. It's a tiny little film, and it does in a weird way that you wouldn't expect. I highly recommend it. Yeah,
it's with
Running
Paul
Scared.
Walker.
It's Paul Walker, yeah, and Vera.
Awesome. I'm gonna give that a watch.
But I adore Vera. I call her my wifey, and because I've done 7 films with Patrick, so he's hopefully he asked me to do Insidious 5 with him in the spring.
Yes.
So
he's directing.
He is directing. That one is. He told me the plot to that, and I was like, "Well, okay, you go, Patrick." It's very ambitious.
I hope they bring Lynn Shay back. She's so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I know. No, she's been in so many things. She's such a good actress. She's
an icon, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. People are asking before the show, how since the Conjuring franchise is mainly period pieces, take place in the past. How do you find doing the makeup for Vera? Does she have any input, or do you mainly, because I feels like wardrobe is a big key to doing period pieces and set design. But as far as makeup, how does that go for doing period pieces?
Well, you have to take into consideration not only the color palette for whatever period that you're filming, but also the kind of lighting that they're going to be doing. James likes to what we call crunch the blacks in post, which is making the blacks black, making everything very contrasty. So you can't go too dark on things. Also, too, if they use filters, a lot of times, up until recently, he used to like more of a cool palette. So you would have to use warmer colors on people, because if you use a pink, it'll fluoresce into a really bright pink. Right. So for all of the Conjuring movies, we've always kept a warm palette for Vera. Patrick, of course, always looks amazing tan, but Vera, Vera will have some input in what she likes. She loves, especially for Lorraine, she wants a luminous, pale quality to Lorraine.
Right.
Fortunately, she's pale, so it's easy to play that up. And yeah, I mean, you don't have to do much to her. She's stunning. The camera loves her face, so there's not much really special, you know.
That's great.
Patrick, actually, for Conjuring 3, after he has his heart attack, we had to make him look pale, and he hated it. He hates looking pale, but you know, they insisted that Ed looks pale after his heart attack, so we called him, you know, Pale Face, because he was. But when I watched the movie, he didn't look that pale to me. You
How
know,
was it?
they
How was it doing the most recent Conjuring 3?
Oh, I loved it. We did it in Atlanta, and I had a great time. We filmed at what was called at that time Pinewood. It's called something else now, and I adored Atlanta. Yeah, great actors. We had a great time. Rory, I mean, all the actors were really super talented and amazing. Julian, you know, the little guy who's possessed. I mean, he's in
Mhm.
WandaVision. He's
Yeah.
such a good little guy. They I mean, like even the Conjuring, the first Conjuring, we had Joey King. Oh, when she did that scene where she sees something in the corner, after the first take, the whole crew had goosebumps. She was that good.
Wow.
The second Conjuring, we had Madison Wolfe, who played. She's not British. She's not brunette, and she beat out all the British kids for Janet,
Wow.
and she's phenomenal. And then we got to film in London, which was amazing.
Yeah, that's
So
so.
yeah.
I love.
And then when we
Wow.
did The Nun, we were in Romania, and
That's right.
I yeah, I
You
loved
get to travel all
Romania
over.
too. So. Sorry.
Yeah. I said you get to travel all over the place.
I Fortunately, yeah, I would love to do a film in France. The Makeup Gods. I would love to work in France, Tokyo, Spain, Iceland. So any of those
There's a
places.
lot of
But
places.
yeah, but
So,
I'll be working in this fall. I'll be working in the Boston area on Salem's Lot.
that's awesome. Yeah, you were just talking about that before the show. If you guys aren't
Yeah,
familiar with Salem's Lot, it's one of Stephen King's one of his popular novels, and they made a movie in the late '70s. The original, if you want to give that one a watch before the new one comes out, I highly recommend it. It's a good vampire flick. But that's awesome. I can't wait to check the new one out. You know, we're on the
yeah.
topic of Conjuring 3. Someone asked on Instagram, how was it doing? Spoiler alert, Ed's makeup when he got possessed.
Well, you know, there wasn't any change really. I believe they just they CGI'd his eyeballs.
Oh,
That's all
okay.
they did.
Oh,
That's all of
gotcha.
Patrick Wilson's face that he's acting.
That's
He's
awesome. A
acting,
little
and
homage
then
to the time.
lots of sweat,
Yeah,
lots of
lots of
sweat.
sweat. That's awesome. And
Yeah.
that's great. Did you like, you know, did you always want to get into the makeup industry, or was it something that kind of just happened for you?
I actually okay. So back in the early to mid '80s, I wanted to be a special makeup artist, and I was
Hmm.
going to Berkeley at the time. And in that area, Chris Wallace, who did Cronenberg's The Fly, and we had ILM, and I called up ILM, and they said, no, we don't have any makeup, anything. I called up Chris Wallace, and they said, oh, that's great, you want to do effects, but you're a woman. And at that time, women did not do special effects. So I said, okay. You know, they totally talked me out of it. They're like, well, you know, you'd be inhaling chemicals. If you ever go to set, you're the first one there, last one out. So they totally talked me out of it. And it wasn't until much later in the early 90s when I realized that you can do what's called straight makeup, which is basically everything, you know, up to massive prosthetics. So I saved up my money and I moved to LA, and I at that time I was doing I was selling cosmetics at Neiman Marcus, so I already had a beauty foundation as far as makeup goes. went to school to learn how to do effects, but unfortunately, part of the school was you have to learn beauty first, and then you go into effects. I had paid for myself and a friend. When we got to the effects part, they said, "Oh, it's another $500 for supplies," which I didn't have because I paid for the both of us. So ironically, I did not learn how to do special effects, and I just picked it up along the way.
Wow.
So that's, yeah. And then I basically, I just started just working on non-union stuff, anything, shorts, anything. I would just do it, even if I wasn't getting paid. And I think I don't think I'm the greatest makeup artist in the world, but I think the key for you to get employed is to be a total team player, not only in your department, but in other departments, hair, costume. You know, if you see a sandbag that somebody's going to trip over, you pick it up and move it out of the way. At one music video, I was helping a camera actually, because I had just seen Requiem for a Dream, and they had something called the doggy cam, which was mounted on the actor, and it does this weird point of view of the actor moving around like this. And they had brought the doggy cam. Yeah, they had brought the doggy cam out for the singer, and I'm like, oh, that's a doggy cam. Can I help mount it? And all the camera guys were like, okay, weird lady. And yeah, yeah, that's, you know, because I just thought it was the coolest effect ever, and that's yeah, I think that's part of why I work a lot, is because you got to have it. Also, too, you're pretty much the first one the actor sees during the day. You have to set the tone. You can never, ever, ever be in a bad mood, because the actor, you're that close to the actor will feel it. So you always have to have a very positive outlook, good energy, and just willing to really, I think, kind of shutter part of your ego down when people have requests, or the director says, "I hate it. Do something else." And you're like, "Okay." So you do. You know, you don't make excuses, and
Just kind of do it.
Yeah. Do it. Yeah. You do it. You do it with a smile on your face.
Yeah, you've been doing this for a long time. I don't know, you know what year you started? I know your first credited thing on IMDb is called Kate's Addiction. Do you remember when you actually started?
Yeah, 1999.
That was it?
I actually started late, actually. I didn't start doing makeup until I was 35.
Wow.
So, like, compared to like Erin Kruger McCash, who's been doing it since her, I don't know, late teens or early 20s, I don't have, my career isn't that long. I just started really getting into it actually 2 years ago, and then we had the pandemic. Yay!
I know.
But because the pandemic, people are hungry for more content. So it's so busy right now. It is everywhere in America, anywhere that's filming, London, Australia, wherever. It's crazy busy. So it's good, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just getting no sign on my end about connection. Let me just make sure we're still running okay on YouTube. Anyone that's watching as well, just to make sure that we're good. I think it's fine. Maybe it's just a weird notification on this end, but I think it's fine here. On YouTube. But anyways, no, that's a good answer. And as far as people that want to get into this industry, because obviously you can get into makeup. You can do a lot of things with makeup. You can do events like weddings. You can do photography, makeup, film makeup, like what you're doing. For people that do want to get into doing film makeup, what's the one thing you would say to them?
Okay, it's not just beauty, it's what we call character. You need to know how to cover tattoos, how to apply tattoos, how to do facial hair, how to do cuts and bruises, how to put on small appliances, cuts and bruises, gunshots, whatever, bald caps, clown makeup, homeless, all that is part of straight makeup. And thanks to YouTube, a lot of people can watch how to do it online.
Exactly.
But it doesn't beat actually doing it practically, like on a person, not on yourself. If you do it on yourself, that's the only thing you know. So yeah, you got to practice on old people and young people. I wouldn't practice on young people because everything looks great on them, unless you're trying to age someone. That's a challenge.
It's really hard. Yeah.
Aging somebody's hard, and aging like Asians and Blacks and Hispanics, we age differently than Caucasians. We tend to get more saggy and less wrinkly. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of studying of and research on how, like, you got to take reference photos and ask the person, hey, can I see the pictures of your mom or dad or your grandfather and grandmother, and that way you can kind of see the features age. But a lot of practice. I know, is it Dick Smith? No, there's an online Stan Winston. Stan Winston has online courses. Yeah, and they're pretty solid. But a lot of it's just practicing. I was on a show called Lip Sync Battle. Sorry about my cat. And we had to paint. We had to paint these kids' faces. We had to do like full animal face in 7 minutes while they're getting wigs on and off and costume on and off. And I actually looked up on YouTube how to paint, animals on kids like they do at fairs and stuff. And that was great. They had great technique. And because I did that, I was faster than everybody else who was doing that. Yeah. So YouTube can be a valuable tool, but it can also be a crutch.
Yeah.
I would say definitely, it's a lot of practice. You have to also learn about lighting to some extent, because lighting will affect how your makeup's going to look. Say if you're going to do this amazing like red based makeup or red lips or whatever, and then I put a red light, all that red washes away. So
yeah, it's true. I
it's something you do. Yeah.
Wow.
So and also too, you talk to make friends with the cinematographer, make friends with the gaffer, make friends with the effects people, because they can provide you valuable information on how the lighting's going to be, how the scene's going to be lit, or say that has a giant blemish that you can't hide because it's textured. Go up to the VFX guy and say, hey, can you fix that for me? And they'll say, sure. And they've done that with actually prosthetic edges too, like that lift up. They're like, hey, can you smooth that out for us? And they'll do it. But it's to your advantage to make friends with the crew.
So word of mouth. That's connections too, to get potential jobs. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
good.
I've gotten jobs from hair people, from wardrobe people, from sound people, from production design people, of course, production supervisors and UPMs or whatnot, but it's just as long as you're known as somebody who works well as a team. Like I said, you don't have to be the best makeup artist, but if you give what they want and in time, that's a big thing too, is timing. Yeah, timing is a huge issue. They'll wait for hours and hours and hours on lighting, but they won't wait that long for makeup.
This actually goes hand in hand with what we're talking about now, but we had people ask before the show too on Instagram, and one of my questions for you too was like, what makeup application has taken the longest to complete for a film project? And, there are a lot of other people also ask what are some challenges that you face, and that kind of segues into what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, the longest makeup I did was for Vacancy 2. It was a 5-piece wraparound makeup that took me 3 hours, and then it was seen at the very end of the movie with a hat in a dark corner, and it was really like a pan, and then it was gone, and I was like, oh no, 3 hours. But it is what it is. And then Bonnie's makeup, it started at 2 hours. Bonnie the Nun, excuse me,
Yeah,
for the Nun. It started at 2 hours, and then I got it down to an hour and a half.
it's not bad.
Of course, as you do the make. I mean, she only had prosthetic brows on and a prosthetic vein, but everything else was just paint. It's this much of her face with her hands. But I had to waterproof that crap because there's scenes where she's in the water, and we wanted to make sure that it wasn't coming off. And then there were scenes where she had a pirouette, but I didn't want to wet her down, so I used a very thin layer of Skin Tight, which is a 2-part silicone mixture, and I just put a whole layer on, and it looked just glossy, and she looked wet. And we did that for La Llorona as well, the Curse of La Llorona.
Oh, that's cool.
Where Gage Munster, we did a couple of tests for that, and also too, they were thinking of having a man play that, and so we did a test of a man, and I wanted it. I loved my test makeup, but James saw it and said, "What is this? This is not what I had in mind." So we had to go back to the drawing board, and then once we got the design down, what happens is usually with the big bads, I can't do them. So Gage Munster did her for the movie, and I think he might have been the one who came up with the Skin Tight method, because he would actually drip it so it looked like water was dripping on her face, and it worked really, really well.
That's awesome. Very cool.
And then I think her makeup was probably 2 hours. Honest.
Oh, so not bad.
Yeah, because there was more.
I've heard like 5 hours before on some people, or longer.
Oh no, on Conjuring 3, we had, and again, we didn't see that much of him. We had a demon who got this is a spoiler if you've not seen the movie, so if you can la 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 la. We had a demon who grabbed the witch at the end, who's played by Alex Ward, who's an amazing creature. The mattress guy in American Horror Story.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a full body makeup with the ball cap, full body.
Wow.
That was 3 people working on him, and it took 3.5 hours. Wow. And you literally see just the face coming in, and it's coming, and then he's grabbing, and that's like, why did we do the whole body? I don't know.
But what has been the longest application that you've done throughout your career?
Personally, that was that burn makeup. That
burn makeup.
Oh, yeah, wow. That was, and me stressing out the whole time, like, I don't know. But I liked it.
That's great.
Justin Rowley, who's the head of Fractured Effects, said, "Do it, Eleanor, and I have faith in you." And he gave me all the pieces, and I did it, and I was pretty proud of that makeup. But nobody saw it, so.
Oh, it's too bad. Yeah. Hopefully, we see it on the Blu-ray copy or something.
Yeah, I don't know. The Vacancy 2. Who knows? Electric Boogaloo.
Like,
but yeah, I'm sorry.
Behind the scenes, I know sometimes they re-release like older films, or re-release and put a bunch of other bonus features. Who knows? Archives. Someone's in the live chat right now. They're just asking, what is your top 3 special effects products in your kit?
Top 3. Um, well, aside from the alcohol-based, like Illustrator or EBA or Bluebird, and we use those all the time for everything. We use those to cover up tattoos, to make tattoos, to color hair, to paint veins, to actually paint the whole face. The all paints are pretty much number one. Number two would be probably two-part silicone type products like a skin tight or I forgot the name of the other one. Those two-part silicone, it's A and B, you mix them together and it makes this kind of gel paste that you have a very short time to work with, but you can mold into anything and then it sets and you could peel it off and you can glue it back on again if you want, but that's her super product. Cover up ear holes, make wounds. That's a great out of kit product that you should always have in your kit. The third one, I would have to say there's a line of prosthetic pieces actually called out of kit. And, they use them all on a show called This Is Us. A guy, Steve Laporte, I believe his name is, he made all of these for that show and decided to market everything on his own. And they're like easy label folds or a dimpled chin or wounds and he's made it so that these pieces are on adhesive backing. You peel the backing off and you just stick it on, and it's genius. You don't have to fit in all this jazz. Those are, and you can buy. Yeah, they're prefabbed and they're amazing. So and they're silicone, so they look more fleshy than like foam pieces, and they're also pre-colored as well in different skin tones. Yeah, so those are awesome. Yeah.
I'm just looking back on the Instagram page where we had questions, and someone was asking for you, like, what's been the toughest gig that you've worked on where you think you don't remember how you made it through that one?
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. This is my cat. I'm sorry. I think it's the current one I am now because we're filming in the desert in 105-degree heat.
Oh.
Yeah, and the drive is an hour and 5 minutes away. And even though it's supposed to be a 10-hour working day, it's not for us for makeup because we have a pre-call and then we have to clean the actors. So for us, it's really like a 14, 15-hour day. And then when you're I don't do well in heat. I literally in heat. Like I would just kill me now. I want to die. And people will say, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just need to cool off right now," and they'll supply me with drinks. That's the toughest for me. But other shows, I don't know. If they've been bad, I don't remember them. Conjuring 3 was really. I guess maybe I've been lucky where it hasn't been that horrible.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Yeah, like Gage was telling me about he did a job in India. He got malaria twice.
Yikes.
And then the Russian company abandoned him in India, and he had to try to find his way back to the U.S. It was that there. Unfortunately, I didn't have any kind of story like that. But Conjuring 3 was a little tough in Atlanta in the summer. I'll admit, that was tough.
Atlanta could definitely
But
get hot.
Yeah, hot, and I told them, like, look, people got to be sweaty, have to be sweaty. I'm not going to be running in every 2 minutes to block people. Which actually, I did actually a really fun movie called Rock Slide with Patrick Warburton and Andy Dick, and we filmed that in the valley. It was about 105 degrees in the house, and poor Patrick Warburton, after every line, he's sweating so profusely that after every line they had to cut and they go in there and blot him up because he wasn't supposed to look sweaty. And that was tough. Yeah. But I don't know. haven't. I can't say that I've been on any shows where I'm like, kill me now, or I want to call in sick. I've never wanted to call in sick. That's when you know you hate your job.
Yeah, knock on wood.
When you want to call and say, should I call in sick today? Yeah, that's when your job is not for you.
We'll do
and that was me questions. In retail.
Yeah. Retail, yeah. We'll do a couple more questions before we end off the show here. Thank you guys for submitting all your questions on Instagram. I appreciate it. And, I think we kind of touched base already on this because, there is so many rewarding factors about doing what you do. For you, what's like your favorite thing about doing what you do?
Oh gosh, there's so many things. I love being a part of pop culture. I love telling a story. I love being what I call a carny. This film industry, it's you go to a town, you build a set, you entertain the rubes by telling a story, you take down the sets and you move on to the next show. And every job is different, even though you might work with the same crew. Every job is different and challenging, and I think that's what piques my interest instead of sitting at a desk every day, on the internet. It's you have to be on your toes a lot too, because the director will have, hey, you know what? I just had an idea. Let's do this, and you're like, okay, and then you do what you do, and I like that challenge. I think I just like the just very last minute impromptu-ness of it all. Okay? And I've always loved masks as well. And to me, makeup is a mask. Like somebody could put a mask on and say something and do something, but once it's mask off, they don't have to own anything what they did. And to me, makeup is kind of like that, where I think actors really change with their makeup on. I'm glad that VFX has not really totally taken over on makeup, because I think the actors really need it, and we need it too, just to have a good makeup, and the person comes out with the makeup on and the whole crew's reacting, and it's very satisfying to see that. But I also like just telling a story. It's a whole bunch of things. This is not a career for everyone. You have to be willing not to have a life, basically.
Yeah, it's always nonstop.
5 cats. Yeah, nonstop. It's a killer on relationships, especially if you work in TV and if you work on location. So, yeah, but I have cats. Yay me. No relationships, just cats. But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I saw a question that said, "Do your own creation give you nightmares?" No.
No, they don't.
Too close. I had to put makeup on Annabelle because they had brought her. They said, "Oh, she's too scary looking. Can you make her look less scary?" And the friggin' doll is just really creepy. I said, "I'll try," but so I'm this close to her doing her makeup, but it doesn't scare me. Doesn't scare me. I don't know.
And Conjuring 2.
Yeah, Supernatural doesn't scare me. I don't know, it's more like real life stuff, like eyes getting punctured and I can't. I know the gag that I can't watch needles going into skin.
I know. I could with Saw 2, the needle pit. I couldn't.
I can't. After the first Saw, I couldn't watch any of the other Saws because it was disgusting.
I know.
That's not.
I know.
Mm-mm.
The first one's like that. The first one's definitely like it's more cleaner than
the first one. Almost everything's implied. You don't actually see him saw off his foot. It's implied.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what James is kind of genius. Is like he knows not when to show everything.
Yeah, leave it to
And
the imagination.
all the other, yeah, all the other saws just got successively just disgusting. I couldn't even
I
finish
know.
the third one. Ugh, what is this?
I know. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Actually, I
yeah.
should
No,
show you
none of
my
my.
photo. I'm wearing my nun
I'm
shirt,
sorry.
Valak.
I saw.
One of
Yeah,
my nun-
I saw. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no
She is
problem.
genuinely very. Donnie is genuinely very scary looking with inner nun makeup in person. She
Oh yeah.
scares the crap out of people. Yeah, she's also very silent and still, and she does that weird gliding thing. So you'll never.
Mhm.
She'll just sneak up on, just get really close to you, and yeah, she's
I'm sure you guys
scary.
pranked each other on set, like by scaring each other by sneaking up behind you, or
I don't. That's kind of mean. I can't do that. There's so many opportunities where I wanted to do that and just go blah. It's not nice. It's
I
not
know.
nice.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
when you have, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, when you're not working, like when you have spare time, what do you like to do? Do you have any other interests and hobbies?
Surfing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I used to climb, but not anymore. Climbing is yeah, that's climbing is really really cool, but it's bad for, if you're working with your hands,
Yeah,
and
it's all the
also
time.
it's not good. Yeah, and so
Yeah,
it's not good if you're like an A-type personality, because if you don't make the climbs, you suck.
yeah,
But with surfing, is if you don't get the wave, man, it's okay. There's another one over here. No worries. And you don't have to be in shape to surf as well. You have to be in shape to climb. I do
yeah.
yoga. I have cats, crazy cat lady. But it's all stealth, though. You'll never know on set of cats. I don't have cat mugs or cat jewelry or any of that crap. Not one of the people, but I do love cats. What else? I love to travel. I love food. I love food. I love street
California probably has so many
food.
good places.
Yeah, anywhere I go, I try to find some great food, and haven't been disappointed.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love traveling. I love exploring, uh, just wherever I am, just by walking around and seeing history. That's the thing in California. We don't have a lot of old architecture. Um,
True.
Not like we do back east. Yeah,
Yeah.
I, earthquakes don't help that, but I
Yeah.
love
No.
architecture. Yeah,
Wow, that's
but where do you
awesome.
live, Stephen?
I'm actually I'm just outside Toronto. I'm in Canada, so
Oh, okay. I had
yeah.
no idea. I
I
did
did.
get to spend 3 days in Toronto with Vera
Oh yeah.
when she was at TIFF. Yeah, and it reminded me a lot of Chicago for some reason. But
I think Vera
the
might still
great,
be because I think
yeah,
she was having a hard time
she's in Toronto.
passing the border. Yeah.
Well, it was, yeah. She had to be in quarantine, and then her family couldn't come, and then she recently got to go back and visit her family for 5 days, and then so she loves family so much. It's really hard for her to be away for that long.
Yeah,
But
most
yeah,
definitely.
she's yeah, Vera.
Before I let you go, I just wanted to get the word out. And I know we talked about some other things, but as far as the new James Wan project, which is *Malignant*, and you also have another movie called *Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings*. If you just wanted to say, give us a quick spiel about that, and those are your upcoming projects as well.
Okay, well, Shang-Chi, I just helped out on the reshoots. I didn't department head or anything, but I have to say, it's going to be cool. It's the first major Asian superhero that's going to be out with almost all Asian cast. And I have to say, so proud of working in that film. Um, Aquafina is amazing. I adore her. Go watch Nora from Queens. It's hilarious. And then *Malignant* is coming out in September on HBO Max and in theaters. But we prefer if you saw it in theaters. for the
Yes.
box office numbers. And *Malignant* is, if you don't know what the term is based on giallo. It's Italian. Giallo. Giallo. It means yellow in Italian. And
Oh, okay. I
it's
should know that. I'm Italian.
it's yeah, it's an oeuvre that is an Italian. It took place in the 70s. Dario Argento is the main guy for it. And basically, it's lurid, stylish, always involves a serial killer, and it's
Oh, cool.
kind of bizarre. So that's James's sort of homage to giallo films, and it is lurid and bizarre, and either it's one of those films, either you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it, because it's just so outre, it's so out there. It's so,
Wow.
yeah. We the whole time we're like, what's going on? And that one has an interesting big bad too. Very interesting big bad. And I'm excited for people to see that, because I think it's one of James's smaller films, and I think people would be really, really excited to see that, because it's not a commercial property. It just comes from his wife's mind and his mind, and it's just twisted. It's twisted. That's all I can say. It's twisted, and
I'm
it's probably a
excited.
film you'll need to see it twice, because you got to figure out what the hell's going on.
Is it gonna be like one of those mind effed up movies where it plays tricks with your mind? You don't know what's like going on.
Yeah, kinda. And there's body horror involved. Hopefully, I'm not spoiling it. Yeah,
Exciting. Well,
there's
guys, for who's watching this, I did leave Eleanor's Instagram and IMDb below on the description. So go make sure to keep track what she's up to lately and give her a follow on Instagram. I appreciate you sharing the post for the interview tonight. It's great to talk to you, because honestly, before tonight, I didn't know too much about you when we started talking, and like, who's mind behind all these projects that's worked on doing the makeup for them, like The Conjuring, stuff like that. And I didn't really see much interviews with you online, so I'm like, I got to get her on and talk to her, because you work on a lot.
Yeah, I'm a little media shy, but the PR guy for the whole Conjuring universe, he's like, Eleanor, you have to do more interviews. I'm like, nah. I think it's just because I think I'm just kind of like an average makeup artist. I'm not like Erin Kruger McCash, who does all the American Horror Stories, or Carly Herbert, or Ashley Levy, whom you've interviewed, she was one of my additionals on the Conjuring reshoots, and she's a phenomenal makeup artist, and she's gorgeous. I hate her. Talented and gorgeous. Why? But yeah, I mean, I help. I like to say I help facilitate. I'm not. I'm like, yeah. So I think that's why I kind of avoid interviews. But thank you.
I appreciate you doing mine. It's been a great pleasure. Maybe down the road we'll do something like this again. Talk about other projects you have in the works. And before I let you go here, I'm just going to get you to do a quick plug for the show. Simply just state your name and you're watching Geek Out Cinema.
Okay. Hey, it's Eleanor Sabaduquia, makeup department head for the Conjuring universe, and you are watching Geek Out Cinema. Is that right?
That was perfect. Yeah, that was awesome.
Is it
Thank you so much.
Is it Geek Out? Geeked Out. Oh, I said Geek. Oh, should I do this again?
If you want, it sounded fine to me. We'll do it one for safety.
Okay. Hey guys, it's Eleanor Sabaduquia, makeup department head for the Conjuring universe, and you are watching Geek Out Cinema.
Perfect. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best. We'll keep in touch for sure. Maybe one day I'll get to work with you. You never know. And have a good rest of your night.
Definitely. If maybe if you're ever in Cali, you should come. Hopefully, the world will open up and you can come and visit the set. Whatever I'm working on.
I really hope so. I've been to California once and I've loved it. It was a few years ago.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link to my short horror film that I did last year if you want to check it out. It's playing at festivals
Sure.
right now, but just to get your input, see what you think. And yeah, guys, thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate it. If you want to keep posted on upcoming guests and news about my show, make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram at Geek Out Cinema.
Wait, this way? That way. There we go.
Yeah.
And it's opposite. It's opposite land. I am. Okay. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Have a good one.
Yeah. Thank you. You too. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.